Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page and look us up, or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And just a reminder that Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and ProCannabisMedia.com, so you can go over there and check us out. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, July the 14th, 2025. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I am your host, Joe LaChance, Joe and the Weed Guy, and I, of course, am joined by the one and only Uncle Lou, Farmer Lou. How are you today?
Hey, how's it going? Good, brother. How was your weekend? I heard you had a good time.
Well, Thursday night I had a real good time at the CCSBA
Yep.
community meeting.
I saw some pictures. It was very nice, right outside of Megatron on
Yep.
Holmes Road. That's our good friend Gabe over there. And as you see, a lot of these things are all um, connected. So the community
Yep.
is awesome and it continues to come out and do its thing. And we're trying.
Well, that's the thing. I think it was a small group, maybe 20 people, but it was important. It was 20 people who have important roles in the cannabis industry. Small businesses. Uzma was there. The CBG gurus were there. Our friends from Rolling Stoners were there. Of course, Mike was there. Kenny was there. So there were a lot of OGs and a lot of people who are trying to make moves. And you know who was there? And Cody Richards was there.
Yep.
And we talk about people who are trying to move the industry forward rather than over-regulate it and move it backward. And this was definitely a room of those people. The woman who was representing Puff City in the lawsuit was there, and she gave us a great update on the state. And there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes to combat what the state is doing. So it's good to get together and have these gatherings. We're
Well,
going to have Cody on the show. He did it. What he's working on and working with is a breakthrough for the industry. Let's be real. To be able to have cannabis delivered to music events and events at a big arena in Connecticut is a
yep.
big deal. It's a step forward for a state that normally likes to keep cannabis
Well,
under
again, that's
the
not part
radar.
of the state doing it. It's just exercising the rights as a business owner, and a couple people are doing those things, and it's nice to be right inside of the location, the partnerships, the private entities that are really opening up and showing support, which is really cool. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and that's it. There was a deal made, but the DCP had to approve it. Originally the dispensary wanted to actually put a little mini dispensary right
Yep.
in the amphitheater. So this was a compromise. And I feel like the fact that even though, yeah, you're right, it was done privately, the fact that two private business
No, it's
owners
awesome.
got together and figured this out and was able to get it past state regulations is pretty good. And
And
I,
there's a lot of things that are happening, Joe, and I'm really excited about it. Cody's got that going on. The price of flour is starting to come down. The quality of flowers are coming up.
more people coming online, I see.
Hopefully, and yes, and I picked up some, and you get to try some, and you stop by, you grab some stuff, and you get to do some of those reviews. I actually got to stop and I smoked some. I participated in the market, and I was really surprised. $25, picked up a Rhythm AGL eighth for 25 bucks, and
Really?
yeah, I was like,
And
wow,
now
this
is
is
that what it's going for, retail?
that's what I'm selling it for.
Okay, and so that plus the tax,
It comes out to 30
35.
bucks out the door.
That is not bad, okay? That's
30 bucks
that's
out the door.
heartening news.
22%, really good flour, really good flour. And that's the next part of it. I was like, man, this is good flour. And there are some companies that are, trying, and sometimes people hit it, sometimes they miss it, sometimes they miss it horribly, sometimes it's really bad flour. And that's where, at least now we can kind of see. The restrictions of not seeing the flower beforehand is off. There's a process to do it. You just
Right,
submit
and you're going to
your.
be doing that over at Nautilus, right?
And a lot of other dispensaries have already started doing it. All the higher collectives do it, if I'm not wrong. Some of the higher profiles, the high people, you know,
There
where
are so many
we
dispensaries
submitted
out there.
we put things in for it, so we're not showing things yet, but I'm making sure everybody gets to at least try it, and we'll take a
Lou,
picture of it.
yeah, one thing I know about what you guys do at Nautilus, you're very customer service oriented. Okay.
Just got to make sure more people know about us. Come down, shop some good deals.
Exactly. You got knowledgeable people in there. I know everybody who works there, including myself. Everybody knows about the plant.
Good
And
time.
yeah, it
Plus,
is.
New Haven is a great big cannabis town. We have some, we have some really good companies out down here. We have Kebra on the other side of New Haven, locally
Yeah.
owned. You know what I mean? Myself, and
And then the
then
other ones.
well, is a national. It's not really affiliated with too much, but I can't even be mad because even Affinity is a locally owned. Ray's been there
Hmm.
12 years. He hate it and sell his company. So New Haven's got a lot of homegrown cannabis businesses, which is really cool. Cody delivers for most of us. He's a local guy. So in other parts of the state, you'll see a lot more of the corporate multi-state operators. Like if you go down to Stanford, it's all multi-state operators. You
Up
know,
Hartford Way,
yeah,
multi
Hartford
state.
way the same way, and so but New Haven, our little slice of cannabis is 75%, locally and homegrown. So
Well, I don't want to say, which part of the state is like the cannabis hub. But,
it's
if
hard
you
to
look
say
at
that part.
it, but you look at New Haven, and it's almost where the whole movement started spurring out of, and then everything spread from there. New Haven's is one of the more happening cities in Connecticut, and it is a hub. It always has been since the early days. And it's that way with cannabis. And the people who are luckily like you, like Kebra, like you say, Ray's been there. He's been there long before we were. He was
Yep,
there when it was medical.
12
So
years. So
yeah, you got to give.
you give
That's
respect where your respect goes. He's got a
yep,
great
yep.
shop up there. Keeper's got an amazing shop. We've got a little slice of us over here, and then our multi-state operator is INSA, and they're over on the other side of Long Wharf. So
Right off the highway, and that's fine. They can get that tourist traffic. That's great. Let them have it. But you're right off the parkway, and you can get them right off that side, and you give them a much better experience, as far as I'm concerned.
I just want people to give the cannabis space a chance. It's not about creating new customers in the adult use space. It's more about making sure people know that they can get good flower. And I've had some flower that I'm not happy with, and I've
You
got
said
some
it
great
last week on
reviews.
the air. You called it right out. I
You
mean,
know, so it's all good, and I like seeing the culture of cannabis continue to grow because there's some really awesome folk that are able to now get involved in support roles and creating their own spaces, adjacent businesses. Big shout out to our good friend Peasy, who's been working a lot with Bricks, who's another minority owned
right?
company. So that's pretty cool. And they've got their business popping off now. So again, just like with our guest that's coming on, that's going to give us a whole bunch of insight in different places, the idea of adjacent businesses, the idea of mushrooms and branching off to um, other
Yep.
areas of the adult use or medical spaces. You know what I mean? Because yeah, we kind of connect things, but we connect things in different ways
Yeah.
at different levels because we go into psilocybins, you can go into even ketamine, you can go into
Yeah.
trip
I'd like to
therapy,
have a ketamine person.
alcohol. You go. My ketamine guy is a really well renowned therapist that now owns a
Well,
whole
let's
bunch
have
of
him on the
ketamine
show.
stuff.
Let's
Yeah,
have him on the show.
Juan's a pretty cool guy because that's where I start hearing it from, and I'm hearing it from therapists before. Like I guess that ketamine was never in my culture, in my
Me neither.
subcultures.
It's a new thing for me. Obviously, I'm old G. It wasn't even a street drug when I was
Right.
I was there. Then I never knew what the hell it was, but I wanted to touch on. I'd like to have him on the show. I'd like to touch on mushrooms real quick. For not only because Kevin, who's coming on, is big on it, but Aaron Doolittle and I are bringing down the mushrooms and meditation, the psychedelic self care, to the Milford, New Haven area, which has normally been up in Hartford, and she's done them, quite a few of them, and they're very
He's an awesome
successful.
person.
She has a whole crew that she brings down with her, educational crew on meditation, but she also does tarot card readings. There's a henna artist there. You can get
Hmm.
a massage. I will be there with CBD products. Of course, Cannabis Corner will be down there. So we want to bring these kind of events down to the New Haven area like we used to have. More paint and sips, more educational stuff. Not only about mushrooms. Again, I'd like to talk about ketamine too. But this is this Saturday from 3 to 7, so it's in the afternoon. And that is the same day as the Connecticut hike, which of course we're going to talk about with Kevin today,
Hmm.
at Indian Wells, which starts at noon. You could do both, and
Yes,
Shelton
you
and
can.
Milford are right near each other. So I would love to see the Connecticut crew and the Mushrooms crew. Let's team up and have a whole day of it. You come, you do your hike, and then you come down to the Grove, which is where the event is at. Hang out with me and Aaron and the crew, and let's talk about mushrooms, meditation, get a little spiritual down there. And you have a nice day. That's a real nice day planned, and you're supporting the local Connecticut cannabis community all in one day.
There you go.
I know you're working, Lou. I'd love to see you come down, but
There you
you
go.
have
Sounds like a
important,
great
I want
time,
to tell
brother.
you, Lou, this is from the heart. You have important work to do down there because what your struggle and your story is very very important to the overall cannabis community, and the success of your dispensary and your cultivation is very important to show the people, the community, that it can be done without big money. It can be done from the heart. And that's what I want to tell people. That's why it's very, very important. What you're doing down there is important to the community overall and the cannabis industry. And I want people to realize that. It's an
There's a
important
lot
point
that's
to
going on,
prove.
and
It's an important point to prove.
and I'm not the only, and I appreciate
And
that, brother.
Kiba too, right? I
I
will
got
say the same
some
about
great
Kiba.
people. Yep, and then
And
we
it's
have like
coincidental. We all started together, but I will say the same.
it's a
Absolutely.
beautiful thing, and we'll just all continue to support each other. Greenhaven Media, Joe the
Yep.
Weed Guy. You're
Yep.
everywhere.
Nautilus
You're
is
hosting.
automatic sponsor
Um,
of everything we do.
And then there's some other great ones. There's some manufacturers that are coming on board that are independent, and it took them a lot of work. Lorraine's Cannabis should have a product coming out to shelves. I know that she'll do all of her own promo and everything, but I can't wait till we have some of her products.
I want to get her on the show, and all
Right, there's a
these
lot of really
people.
cool people that are really pushing that didn't have any of that startup, and there's this whole like cohort of
We were
individuals.
looking for Paul. We're looking for Brian to come online, right?
Exactly. Yep. And it's exciting to get to see people do their things, and there's some really cool people in the space, in the bud tender space, in the manager spaces, in the cultivation spaces. We had our first corporate cultivator on the show. I can't wait till we start having more people. I can't wait to start highlighting different bud tenders, having bud tenders on, and just say, hey,
I'd
what
like to
brought you
get,
into the
Lou, I'd
space?
love to get more of those type of people on. Actual bud tenders. Like a guy I'd love to have on, and I know you know this guy, Yanni. You know
Oh man,
Yanni
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah. You're
AGL,
from
has
AGL.
been
That
in
would
the
be a great guest.
space, literally from the beginning. I remember him from
Yep.
way back in the days when Klaus was running the cultivation there. That's how far, when it
Right.
was independently owned, Yanni has
And
been
these are the
working.
same people. Their
He,
boss sold the business, but it didn't change anything that they did. And that's
He
the heart and
cares.
soul. That's the heart and soul of the cannabis, of the at least the legal cannabis
Lamont,
trade.
right? Lamont has been there from the beginning. Yes, he went out and got a job at Rise, but still, he
Which is
should
perfect. You got him into the space. It got him doing what he does, and it's
he
exciting. You
could
know what I
spread
mean?
knowledge.
That's right.
So all these things, we need to highlight these people more because there are human beings behind the corporate logos, and sometimes people work maybe for a corporation. Maybe they can do some good in there. Maybe they can, and I see, like you say, AGL. Maybe they're actually listening and deciding to put out good product. Maybe they're actually hearing. We've been making a lot of noise. There's been a lot of articles. There's been a lot of stuff stating the value on the Connecticut market has not been there. Maybe they're listening. I don't know. But it's very heartening to hear that you were able to pick up an eighth and you're selling eighths for $25. You're now doing pre rolls for down to 7. So, that's heartening to hear. Really
I
heartening
think,
because now the two markets are coming close to each other price wise. And I
yeah,
want
you
to see
can.
the legal market thrive. I want to see people who don't feel comfortable growing their own, who don't feel comfortable maybe working in a gray market, to get good product in a place where they feel safe and they feel, like it's
Well, it's
a
it's
good
nice.
thing.
Sometimes it's just
And
easy
that's
to,
the mainstream people.
you
That's the
know,
people I want it
right,
for.
right. And if you got a guy, you got a guy. Some people have great relationships with their guys
And if you
or
know, you know
gals.
where the places are to go,
Yep.
you go. But not
And some
everybody
people,
does,
not
and that's
everybody
not the
has that.
majority. And I
So,
want to see those people taken care of.
and yeah, and there are people that are still getting swag. Like
From
slosh,
smoke shops,
Reggie.
let's be real. I would
You
rather
know,
see him go to a dispensary.
we're talking with there's you see I don't know if you see all over the place in Cali the place got raided. They had child labor going. They had the
Yeah,
Asia.
it
Talk
could be a
about the
lot
Asia
worse.
pack. We talk about the Asia packs. We talk about spray packs. All this stuff is coming in, and that's what cheap bud is now on the streets. We're watching the New Haven Independent report about the latest raids of local smoke shops. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
13 pounds, a couple kilos, 15 pounds.
and
And
it
this is
was
happening.
interesting. I found that
It's not good bud either. It's
no, they buy
bad.
a lot. What a lot of people don't know is a lot of these smoke shops are owned by the same people or the same family. What they do is they get these things you mentioned it, China packs, and they buy them in bulk. We're talking bulk.
Yeah.
We're talking because they got 12, 15 stores that they're taking care of. So we are talking bulk, and they are getting it cheap, and the quality is awful. And then they spread it out to their 15 different stores, and this is what people are buying because they feel like they're not getting a good value on the dispensaries. And with the raids and things like this, that's the kind of stuff that gives cannabis a bad name. Somebody goes to a smoke shop, they get some of that stuff, they smoke it, they get sick, whatever else happens, that's going to give it a bad name. That's give
Yep.
it. So,
That spray sits on it too long, then it starts to get
yup.
moldy on the inside.
These
It's
people
and
know
when we're
nothing
talking
about the
spray,
plant.
yeah, when we talk spray, it's sprayed terpenes, so they are moistening the plant bud a little bit. Then you got to smoke it. It tastes like what, just be cognitive of what you're partaking in, and that's the hardest part. And some people got the guy, which have your guy. You might
Yeah, a
have the
lot of
best
people
guy.
have always had a
You
guy,
know,
and they stuck with them.
yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
bad about that.
But there's a space for everybody. That's the thing, and especially as we try to legalize the other substances like mushrooms and things like that, people want to see that it still works.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
We talk about even alcohol. Even to this day, there's still moonshiner competitions. You know what I mean? Small craft.
absolutely.
So the moonshiners aren't doing it above board very much. That comes from the legacy of legacy.
The
So there's
real
always going to
legacy.
be, yeah, there's always going to be that the market, and I joke about it, but it always tastes a little bit better with a little bit of crime. So,
I do agree. Another event I wanted to highlight is the big Reggae Fest at the end of the month. That's
oh
next
yes, yes,
Saturday, the 26th. I will be there. I'm the host. Cannabis Corner, of course, is sponsoring this show. Those festivals, those monthly festivals, are always a good time. I would love to see the entire community come down and support them. They're so much fun, and they're a great way for us to get together, strategize, hang out, enjoy each other's company, and just build the community. It's a
Yeah,
safe space, and they're a lot of fun. So there's some events right there. The next 2 weekends, if you're in the community, this Saturday you can come out. You can hike with Connecticut, and then you can also come out to the Grove, hang out with us, and talk about mushrooms, meditation. Have a good time. It's consumption friendly, so we can actually have hang out inside. It's almost like a lounge. There'll be some refreshments there. It'll be a good time. So Saturday
hmm,
will be a great day. That's the 19th. And then the 26th, we got the Reggae Fest, and that's another one. And then, in August, Rich over there is doing the Good Vibes Festival.
that's
So
right.
there's,
There's a lot of really cool stuff going on.
and it's the summer. Let's all get together. Let's be real. The state isn't the friendliest to the cannabis industry right now. So let's get together and enjoy the times we do have. And, good company, good friends, build our community, spread some love, bring people together, and that's what it's about. And Lou, it's really actually, and I want people to understand this, the fact that you and the fact that Kibra and even Jocelyn came out of our community and are now participating in the legal community and have gone through trials and tribulations in the state firsthand, not just what we read about in the articles on the Insider and all these different things. Firsthand, the fact that you guys took the step to do this is really important to the community as a whole too.
I
Not
think
just
that
the industry, the community as
I
a
hear
whole.
you, Joe. I think what it does is it gives faces and people to hold accountable. So I think that there are a ton of great faces out there. Big
Right.
shout out to the Cannon Warriors doing those things. Same thing with the Burn and Learn individuals. You personally, like there's a lot of people, and like our guests today, as we get to know more people, that's what's going to show that there are a ton of individuals that it's great to just even highlight, get to know, from the regular backyard grower to the people that, like we had our last guest, that's growing acreages for different people. There's always somebody in a
Yep.
space that has a little bit of knowledge that is always willing to share it, and that's
And
what this
here
does. And
we got one of us on right now, Kevin, right now with us. Let me get your bio up here. Kevin is from Connecticut. And hold on, I got to get your bio up here.
Won't even matter.
Kevin, Kevin serves as a communication officer for MAPS. Kevin earned his bachelor and master's degree from Morgan State University, the premier HBCU in Baltimore, Maryland. After an early career spent at ESPN and ID Discovery, I did not know that about you. Working as a production assistant, Kevin comes to MAPS after a decade in the legal services field, traveling the country's courtrooms as a trial presentation consultant. That's very cool. Drug policy has always been his passion. While in Maryland, Kevin spent years as a cannabis advocate and organization in the DMV area and working with Maryland Normal, the National Cannabis Festival, and the MCBA. Oh, wow. Now he is excited to bring his passion for communications and drug policy here to MAP. Outside his professional life, Kevin enjoys hiking, ultimate frisbee, music, and these United States of America accounts. He lives in the suburbs of Connecticut, we know that, with his wife, two sons, and their dog, Bogart. And Connecticut was the brainchild of the lifelong smoking buddies. Over the years, they've traveled to countless places and smoked countless times, but always in the shadows. Since legalization in Connecticut, now they take pride in their favorite pastime and they're excited to help their favorite nutmeggers do the same. And we're going to leave it at that. Kevin, I want to get you on because we have a lot to talk about.
Let's talk
Welcome to
about
the
it.
show. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and I'm really glad we caught you because I know you're a busy man. How have you been?
I've been busy, but I'm happy to make the time for you and you all. Like, this is what I need to be doing. So good to see you.
Well, I think it's important the work you do because just by reading your bio, a lot of people don't know. They see you out at the bench. You're this happy, smiley guy. You do the jackets, and you're always out there. But you've been doing this a while, not only down in DC, but and you've been doing this a long time, and
Yeah.
now you're here in Connecticut. You're working still with maps,
Hmm.
but you're also community building, and you've started a business that not only sells merchandise, very clever name, by the way, but also brings people together. Brings people together in an atmosphere where they can enjoy the plant, but also enjoy maybe some physical activities, some socializing. And I think that's an important part of what, and your organization, Connecticut itself, has been very important in building this community that we now have, this cannabis community that we're talking about.
Thank you.
Um, Again, I could say what made you decide to go in this direction, rather than, remain in activism in Connecticut, like with the Canna Warriors and all that kind of stuff. But I want to thank you for all the work you've done, first of all. But let's talk a little bit about Connecticut, what you've got going on, and how you've grown from the beginning. The
Yeah.
little idea that you had
Man, so this is now I think
from a cool name.
our fourth anniversary. We started in 2021 when cannabis legalized in Connecticut in that July. I was moving home from Maryland, and I just noticed there was like some state pride missing in Connecticut. Like nobody's talking shit like Connecticut's the best. Connecticut has the best this or that, and like
Well, that's hard to,
it is hard. I left Connecticut for 12 years, so I know
Me
it's hard.
too.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take some time away. You come back and you got to appreciate it, or somebody has to fill the void.
Right, because yeah, there's more to Connecticut than just the taxes
Right.
and the negative things. There's the people, and let's be real.
It's what we make it, you know. And uh, I just trusted that if I put something out there that showed some pride in where people are from and what they're doing, and like people are prideful in what they smoke. So like
Yep.
like that was an easy thing. Like if nobody says, "Oh, I grow bullshit because I live in Connecticut." No, I grow the best stuff in Connecticut. So we want those people who are prideful about what's going on here, and it just seemed to attract the best people. I always say these jackets find the best shoulders, and everybody who is in
I
our
have one.
you have everybody who's in our club is just like the coolest of Connecticut, and like it just so happens that way. We got Jill in Stamford, we got Aaron down in Norwalk, we got like folks everywhere who are just like
Duncan, Sarah. There's a ton of people who are in the
who are just
jacket.
really cool stoners, right? And they're doing their own thing, their own vibe. But I wanted to make sure that they have community. They know that there are people out there around the state who think like them, who do like them, who want to support them. So Connecticut fills that void as well. So whatever projects people have going on, I want to let other folks know. Fabio, that just had the Rolling Stoners event, he's part of the Jacket Club. Just
Absolutely.
push people their way. Let folks know that there's folks out there that support you, that want to do what you're doing, that will help promote and show support.
No, I agree, and I love it. Obviously, I'm a part of the Jacket Club, and it's a fun thing. But beyond that, you show up at all the events, and you're constantly recruiting people for the Jacket Club.
Yeah, I want
But
to be proud about it. I want more people to be with the click. We send a monthly email when I get around to it. Just try to again share events and what's going on within the Connecticut community, but as well as what the other Jacket members are doing. So it's a good thing to be part of if you're about socializing, need some friends, need some community.
And honestly, it's not expensive. You can either buy the jacket from you guys already pre-made, or you can go to Goodwill like I did and find a really cool jacket, or a cool jacket you already own, and give it to you guys, and you'll customize it and make it look cool. So, it's a very cool thing. I think it's a nice ancillary to what you're already doing, which are the events.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. The events have been really great. Those hikes, you get people out there. You're
We're doing
doing one this Saturday, right? Right down here in my
right.
neck of the
Yep,
woods.
we're in Shelton. I think it's Indian Head or Indian Wells.
Indian Wells.
That's what it is. Yep. This will be down
Now,
there Saturday morning, 9:45 shop.
okay, so this is a nice early morning hike.
Yep.
Indian Wells, for those of you who don't know, it's on Shelton Route 110. Really, 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 really nice park on the river. Got a lot of great hiking trails. Very cool place. And I have hiked there many times. If I can wake up early enough, I will be there.
Let's see it.
Who's sponsoring this one?
1 second, I can tell you. sponsoring this week's hike is, drum roll please, it is Pretty Tokers.
Okay, Pretty Tokers. So that one, give them a shout out for sponsoring the hike. So that you're going to be there 9:45 Indian Wells, which is up in Shelton. And you probably heard us talking about it. Right after that, at 3 o'clock, down in Milford, I'd love to see you guys come down and hang out with us. We're doing with Aaron Doolittle the mushrooms, meditation, psychedelic self-care day, that little event. We're doing it in Milford down at the Grove for the first time. So
it's all that stuff, and I'll definitely share it around the world. That sounds
yeah, it's a great day. You go to Shelton, you do your hike, and then you they're not far from each other. It's a 10-minute, 15-minute ride. You come right down to Milford, come hang out with us. That's a great day, because and it ties into both of what you do, right?
But
the mushrooms,
mindfulness. That's cool. That's cool. That's what you want.
So and that's how it can work together. That's how the synergy of the community can work together. We didn't even know it was planned that way.
We give you a mushroom meditation. Like, why would you not want to be a part of this community?
That's right. That's right. And then you can find out about the Jacket Club and, of course, Burn and Learn and all. That's the thing that people don't realize. When you go to one of these events, depending, even the Rolling Stoners, whatever, depending on what your interests are, you also find out about a lot of the other things that go on within the community. Then you get plugged in to the entire cannabis community, and people don't realize how big that is and how many different types of people are there.
Oh man, surprising. We've taken these hikes all across the state, and you'd be surprised the folks who meet us on the trail. Folks, doctors, lawyers, all kind of business folks, all kind of entrepreneurs, all kind of whatevers. Like, it's just a cross section of humanity, and it's really cool to see.
And then we got all our little businesses, and then you'll run into somebody you saw at a hike at one of the Burn and Learn events, or you'll be over at Gabe's store, and you run into somebody that you met at one of these events.
All the freaking headshots.
And they all tie in. And another thing I want to commend you on, you're getting creative with the events, because I think you guys are doing your first kayaking one, right?
So we've worked on trying to have an event a month, and so this event is going to be outside of the hike. It's going to be on the 27th down in Brantford. We're doing a puff paddle going through the Thimble Islands.
Okay, and they're pretty cool. That's a cool area if people don't know about it.
Check out Connecticut.com. You can get your tickets there. You can either bring your own kayak for $20 or you can rent one for $60. And yeah, we'll be out there.
Now let's be real. Kayaking is a little different than hiking.
Wouldn't you know it? There's a puff and paddle group on Facebook of folks in Connecticut that go to all these different lakes around the way. So there's a community out there that happens to cross section with smoking. So we're just.
And have you linked up with them? Is this who you're doing it with?
Not doing it with them, but they invited me into their group so we could advertise it and share, and they're going to start bringing some folks down here.
So now that's how you grow the community, through kayaking, right? Now, who would have thought kayaking? Now you're going to get a bunch of smokers together, and they're going to become a part of the community.
It's a stoner away. Get yourself away from society. Go off in a kayak in the middle of a lake. Go freaking off in the woods and go smoke your weed. Then paddle back. So
right, and so that is on the 27th, right?
Yep.
And that's Better Ways. Duncan is involved in that. I know he's heavy into that, and he's like certified in the sea and all that kind of stuff, right?
He's leading this one. Let me tell you, he's part of this one right here.
And that's good that you have somebody knowledgeable like that.
Again, the Jacket Club. They find the best shit. Says, hey, I do this. I'd like the club to do it. We said, you're doing it. And that's what we want to do. Sarah's actually going to do a beach cleanup in September after everybody is done trashing the beaches. Everybody clean up. But if you don't.
That's Sarah from Sea Creations, right?
Yep. She wants to do a beach cleanup somewhere on the coast, so we'll be promoting that one soon.
Oh, I know a few beaches right down here in my area we can do. So maybe we'll sponsor that one. How's that?
Please.
So that's great. See, Kevin, these are the things that normal people in the community do, and now we want people to know the stoners do it too. And we can clean up beaches, and we could kayak, and we could do jujitsu, and we could do things just as well, better, and smoke cannabis and enjoy cannabis at the same time.
Yeah. We always have been. Now we can just kind of come out about it and show folks this is what we've been doing. And
And other people have been doing it too, and just never in an organized fashion. And I think it's a beautiful thing, the way that we can spread that out to the normal people. Um, so that's Connecticut. I wanted to talk to you now about MAPS and the work that you guys do over there, because MAPS has been around a while. They've been at the forefront of, let's say, normalizing psychedelia and also promoting research into the benefits of using psychedelic medicines for, you know, psychological disorders rather than recreational. Again, at me growing up, mushrooms was like, yeah, man, you go trip, you see God, you know, you hallucinate, balls, man, you know, but 2 or 3 days later, guess what? You're the same damn person. You're drinking again. You know, whatever. Feel crappy. I know you can, but people didn't realize that there can be a long-lasting psychological mental effect through the use of mushrooms in various ways, and not only mushrooms, other psychedelic things that were considered taboo or illegal for years. Tell us a little bit about what the progress is specifically here in the state. I forgive myself, but I know there was a mushroom bill that came up
yep.
this session. Did it go through and are mushrooms decriminalized in Connecticut now?
They are not decriminalized, long story short. They're on their way there, I believe. I haven't been tapped in on the Connecticut level as much as I have been on like the national, international level. So working at MAPS, MAPS has been around for 40 years, which
Right.
stands for the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. So my
You've been
boss,
around since acid. I mean, they've probably been studying acid, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh well, our big thing is and was MDMA for PTSD. Uh, so it's MDMA assisted therapy, excuse me, for PTSD. So the assisted therapy is very important. So we try to, or we use MDMA as a psychedelic and then use therapy as a way to talk people through their emotions and feelings and stuff they bring up. It's, I think it's over about like a 2 month period with 3 dosing sessions and then integration sessions after the dosing. Again, integration is very important. And then see if we can make the person not be a drinker anymore or whatever the
Depressed, anxious, right? All that.
whatever, yeah, whatever the malability might be. So yeah, we've been around for 40 years. We're big into the research. We're big into the education and the culture of psychedelics. And yeah, that's what we've been doing. Psychedelics nationally is in a very interesting place. States are cobbling it together. You have Oregon and Colorado, which are fully decriminalized. You can actually go to facilities and attain psychedelics, even though you have to stay in those facilities and do the psychedelics. Uh,
Right. And
Mexico,
I heard it's very expensive.
it's expensive. It's expensive, but also if they catch you with it, they're not going to arrest you. So that's kind
Right.
of you can do it. I think New Mexico has cultivation. Alaska's looking at decriminalizing and allowing cultivation. So states are coming online. Connecticut has had a bill last session. It didn't make it, but it's getting closer. It got out of its small session, I believe, and like to full committee, which was a surprise. They weren't expecting that. Uh, but I mean, Massachusetts had a bill that went close last year. It was on the ballot initiative that didn't make,
Right.
but it was close. I think 63% against, but we'll keep chipping away at it. Because marijuana is legal, it makes it a lot easier to kind of do this. The sky hasn't fallen because weed's legal. The sky likely won't fall because psychedelics are decriminalized, and then we can use that decriminalization to get in the medicine of
Get
it.
to the medicine. And I think realistically, the only way that you are going to get psilocybin put through is for medical use.
Yeah,
And in my opinion, it probably should be mainly the use of it should be mainly focused on the medical use and for psychological and physical. Truthfully, I microdose on a regular basis, and not only has it helped me feel better mentally, but physically too. You
yeah,
know, but those people, there are many people who have very traumatic issues. I'm learning more and more, and that a good therapy session using psilocybin and then good follow up can literally be life changing for a
yeah.
person.
A lot of
And
veterans.
whereas maybe if they had taken that same amount of psilocybin and went off on their own, they would have had a whole and completely different experience than if they were with a therapist and
Yeah,
working through it. I think
exactly that.
that's important work. and it's a breakthrough that's needed to happen for a long time. Psychedelics, obviously, because of the war on drugs. During the early 60s, there was quite a lot of research and experimentation done. We know about Timothy Leary and
Yeah.
Ram Dass and all those people. And then, of course, they got shut completely down for like 50 years, except in certain countries. We were lucky, like Israel and stuff like that, to be able to do some research. So it's important now to take these, openings in the regulations and the laws and show what the true use of these plants, especially psilocybin and cannabis, and MDMA, like you talked about earlier, um, into the new medicine and into because traditional medicine, what they've been doing hasn't really worked.
Well, there's a limit to it, and I think that
Yeah,
let's might fill some gaps. Like there's a lot of people that use SSRIs for their depression that they're not working, and they're
right.
getting
They're
better.
still depressed. Yes,
There's a hook on these pills. There might be a better way. We're not saying it's a placebo. We're not saying it's like a wonder pill that will like fix everybody, but it might fix those that need it most or who could use just a different option. Again, I've
right,
been doing this work for 3 years. Just I didn't come in through the medical door. I didn't come into the research door. I came into like the
right.
academic door. I came into the cannabis door, legalized drugs thing. But then
And
like
recreationally, let's say, I know
I
you'd
still agree
used
with
them
it.
before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep,
I enjoy psychedelics. But like just seeing, just like cannabis, I came through the same like decriminalize or legalize because of the war on drugs and whatever. But then when you see what it does for people in a medical standpoint, it's like, why? Like, How can
how
they
could they keep holding this back? Right,
holding this back? Okay, if somebody enjoys it recreationally, whatever. But if it's curing things, if it's like really making people's like standard of life
right,
better, there's no
right.
reason why we shouldn't be able to research this stuff. So like,
That was my motivation too. Yeah,
it
absolutely.
burns like a fire in me. It's like, yeah, we got to make sure this happens because damn,
Yeah,
so
no,
much.
absolutely. I'm more of an advocate for cannabis, psilocybin, and alternative medicine than I actually am for legalizing. Really, that was my motivation. I want to see people be healed. I myself have been healed with cannabis, and now psilocybin. So I know personally, this is a personal experience for me, a personal journey, and I want to see other people have the same results or similar results. I see people out there hurting, Kevin. Friends of mine, people I socialize with, people I see on the street, they're hurting right now. And you speak, oh, I'm on this drug, I'm on that drug. I'm like, then why the hell are you still hurting? Why are you taking these
Yeah.
drugs why? If you're still hurting, they're not working.
Uh,
Why don't you try something different? There is, and I think that's important. People don't even know there's an alternative.
bring the conversation full circle. Community is also in medicine.
Yes.
Dramatic at things and going out and meeting people and seeing folks, having people that know you, that love you, that care about you in a way, is a medicine in itself. Like doing these hikes, I've seen people come up like, "Hey,
Dude.
this is the only group I have. Just this is something I can set my calendar to. I might see the same folks, and we're all just hanging out. Like that's something.
Dude, you're so
So
right. It
like
becomes a support group.
it becomes a support group in a way. Like
It does.
it
No, for me, look, I go to these events. Sometimes I never get anything. I just go to hang out and
folks,
be
people,
with the people, smoke weed and hang out with the people.
talk to
That's it.
folks. Yeah, yeah.
That's really it. I'm not out here to make money, get rich. I just want to smoke weed, hang out with the people, and spread love.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's like, I
you know?
wish I was making money. God damn it! But like, yeah, just it's just really cool to see, or it's cool, kind of cool to be like a part of, and kind of step back and like, wow, we really do have something unique here in Connecticut. I think,
And I
and
want people to see that, and I want people to be a part of it. And of course, I want more people, cool people, to be a part of it
like
as well.
the ones that pop their heads up usually are cool. 9 times out of
Yeah.
10, they're pretty cool folks, and like you're happy to see them when they come around. Very rare. I'm like, oh, here comes so and so.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Exactly right. And when things first got legalized, that's how it was. But it's
Oh,
kind of weeded itself out a little bit. And I think right now, especially now after this latest session, we see where the state's mindset is at with cannabis. Um, and they're really looking at it as a way to make money. And they want control.
Yeah.
as much control as they can exercise over the market to funnel the money towards the legal market and their pockets. You know,
I
they want to make their tax money. I get it.
I'm so detached from like the legal market.
Yeah.
Like I don't use the Connecticut legal market at all. If anybody's legal market, it'd be Massachusetts because like the tax situation. But like they're there. I appreciate them for the fact that they're still there. They're the ones that
And
are
I want to see them
open for
be a
business. Yeah,
good place to go.
exactly. Because people come into vacation in Connecticut, they don't know somebody, they don't have community here, so
There are
they have
people who don't know anything about anything else but walking
they're,
into a dispensary.
exactly. And so that's there. If that's there for them, and that's good. I don't want them to have to run
And
around
it
and
needs to be good for them. And that's the thing.
okay, there you go. That's the yeah. If
I
anybody, hey,
mean, Lou and I talked about that. There's been some strides made. The prices are getting comparable, but then you know what's going to happen. The gray market will go down.
I think we just have to like it's the cat and mouse game, yeah. But like we also have to kind of wait and see. Like it will get better eventually. It has to
Yes,
get better to survive. It has to get better in your market. You say you're going against the gray market, so
right.
yeah.
But it will. I have faith with people like Lou, with people who I know are coming online and things like that. But again, right, that's not community. You know, this is we're talking about something different.
I
You know,
think
where
because we know folks like Lou and Kembra and all those other folks like Jocelyn. Like we have people who are in our community
and
who
they
are
were with us during the struggle.
right. So I feel like there are ties there. We can always strengthen ties. So like we can figure it out. But there shouldn't be a huge gap between the folks we know in the legal setting and us in the
Right, because we still are all one cannabis
they
community.
still like smoking weed just like us, and they're still
Every person who goes into that dispensary and buys something is a part of our community because they're weed smokers. You know what I mean? I want them to have a good experience, whether they know about us, whether they want to hang about out with us or not. You know, and that was, that's the whole thing. But overall, one thing I did want to touch with you on, Kevin, that Lou and I touched on in the beginning, and I find it interesting that psilocybin is still having a struggle, getting its way to decrim. When I see these ketamine centers, I've literally seen them popping up in Connecticut with a storefront.
you.
How does ketamine slip through
The
the legislation and things like that? How does it slip through? And what is your opinion? What is the ketamine therapy thing? I really know nothing about it, but I'm seeing and hearing more about it.
yeah, ketamine is a psychedelic, it's a synthetic psychedelic. The one,
Ah,
yeah. So there, yeah, I don't think there's any wild or like you can't derive it from a plant or anything. I think it's
no.
synthetic.
Yeah.
So it's done intravenously and is done with therapy. There is also a recreational market for ketamine K.
Yeah, so that's how I knew about it. I heard about it. Special K, right?
Special K, yeah, big scare in the 80s, 90s.
Yep. K holes, all that, right?
Yeah. Freaked a lot of people out. Now folks are doing it as like, I won't say a substitute to cocaine, but like are doing it as like a lightweight substitute. And like it's a psychedelic. It's a almost like a tranquilizer, kind of puts you in a down feeling. And then through when you're down there, that's when the therapy works best, but people are doing it recreationally as well. I've done it before. I've done it a few times. It's not bad. It's different. There's dangers to it. Like there's dangers to everything. Elon Musk overdoes it, I hear, and has like
Yeah,
black
yeah, yeah,
problems.
yeah.
So like there's a risk to it. It's a white powder, so it can be adulterated. People can mix things in it, so you have to watch out for that. Always test your drugs.
Right.
But in your trusted area, trusted people in low dosages, it's a fun party drug, and it's good for therapy. There's folks I know, folks, someone in New Haven doing it, doing
There's
ketamine.
Milford right in my town doing it, and that's what sparked me to the ketamine center. And I know people within the community who have tried it, who have had mixed
Mm-hmm.
experiences with it, and I have heard some negative things about it, which I haven't heard about psilocybin. Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
And that I haven't heard about MDMA, and that's what I wanted to talk to you. And the other thing is how, and what is the difference between ketamine and MDMA?
Ketamine lozenges and ketamine sprays. Uh, The difference is just that I think the different works on different parts of the brain and the high quote unquote that it gives you. MDMA gives you more heart feeling, where MDMA is a more head and body, or excuse me, ketamine is a more head and body feeling. Um,
Mm.
it kind of got in again to the back door. It's a
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How are people being able to do this when you can't do it with psilocybin yet?
Ada, I think, is the name of the actual drug that is ketamine that they use in like clinics and everything. Um, and it's a newer drug, so they were able to use it
They haven't caught up to it yet. Is that what it
kind of
is?
well for therapy purposes. They haven't caught up with it yet, and the Special K only came out in the '80s, where MDMA was known about for a lot longer than that.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, a newer drug I think kind of slipped through, was able to have the research done fast and get in. Um, but again, it's another avenue, another way to try to alleviate some people's problems. So
And I encourage that because you and I both know the current system does not work for people. The current SSRIs, whatever you're calling, that they take for whatever they're given depression, all those, they don't work because we see people who are still depressed.
yeah,
But yet we see people who've done psilocybin therapy who have at least 6 months to even permanent, results. So we have to move in this direction. Again, I want to thank you for all the work that you do in this psychedelic medicine,
thank you.
realm. We're carrying on the work of some major people, Timothy Leary, and it's very important to do this. So we're coming down to the close of our time. I want to give you a couple minutes just to plug everything you're doing, where we can find you, where we can see you online, how people can get involved with MAPS if they want to learn more about psychedelic research. Give it all to me in a 2-minute speech, Kev. You
Yo,
know it.
maps.org, maps.org has everything. We have too much research on there, too much stuff, too much
I
information.
know I couldn't get through the site.
Yeah, it's actually one of our big to dos next year is to cull it down and make it more streamlined and everything. But for now, it looks like a 40-year-old arcane site that you would love to poke around and find anything on psychedelics. We have a great search bar that lets you type in whatever weird question you might have or any weird substance, and we'll find something or research on it. Um, you can find me at Connecticut, also CANNACTICUT, Connecticut.com, or Connecticut underscore on Instagram because they took our page. Connecticut.com is the best.
See, you're not even selling weed or doing anything bad. It's just your name sounds like it, and they
Yeah,
took away your page.
away our page. On the back end, so through my psychedelic work, I found out that they were snatching a whole lot of drug pages in the last couple of months. And there's a way to get it back, but you have to know somebody who works at Meta and you have to pay them under the table. And Connecticut has not sold that many t-shirts. So we're just Connecticut underscore for now, and we'll see what
Bring
happens.
back the page. Join the Jacket Club. Buy a shirt.
Yes, yes. It only goes back to the community. Like, honestly, like, yeah, we don't have much money, but what we have, we
No,
give back
well,
to y'all.
it's not about the money, right?
Yep, yep. We're gonna be doing Thanksgiving again this year. We'll probably bring back the holidays party. We're gonna be at the farm, the CBG Gurus farm, at some point this year. So yeah,
Good, good.
we're
And
around.
you're going to be around here this weekend. We got to
Yep,
plug that. You will
yep,
be
yep.
at
We'll be in Shelton
Indian
for
Wells.
in Wells the 19th, and then we'll be in Brantford the 27th for the Puff Puff paddle.
Right. And we hope to see you also. Maybe you could stop down to the Grove with Aaron and crew this Saturday afternoon after your hike.
Yep, yeah.
Hang out at the Grove. It'll be a fun, fun day. So, people, Connecticut.com, maps.org. You can find Kevin all over social media. If you want to join the Jacket Club, you know how to get in touch with us. Check. Will you be at the Reggae Fest?
I'm gonna try to pop up there. So I've
Okay.
got 2 kids in my life, so they have a million.
That's right. That's right. Kevin, it's been great talking to you. I'm
Oh, thank
so
you.
glad we finally got you on the show. Keep up the good work. We love what you do.
Thank you
I
so
will see you hopefully this weekend at the hike. Like I said, if I can wake up.
much. Good to see you, Joe. You guys have a good one. Peace.
All right. We love you. Thank you so much. All right, Harry, I'm ready to hit the music. But before we go, I did want to thank everybody. I got the official email from the state today. My expungement, my record, my full pardon finally came through, and I will be receiving my certificate this week in the mail. So I am so happy about that. That is all part of the effort that we put in to get cannabis legal, to get records expunged. I finally got the full confirmation from the state. I can now tell people I have not ever been convicted of a crime in the state of Connecticut. And it's all thanks to you and all thanks to the community. I want to thank you, Harry. I'm ready to sign off. Hit the music. You can like, share, subscribe at Joe the Weed Guy at Greenhaven Media. Remember, make America green again. You can get the t-shirts soon. I'm opening up the on-demand store. And you can find me at all the events at the Reggae Fest this weekend at Mushrooms and Meditation. I love you guys. Let's just spread love. Bring people together. Follow me at Joe the Weed Guy at Greenhaven Media. We love you. I love you.